AITA for refusing to be my friend's alibi so he can cheat on his girlfriend. I, 21 male, have known my friend Matt, 21 male, since we started college. We're in the same program and have been roommates since day one. Overall, I'd say Matt is a great guy. However, he has a terrible tendency to cheat. Throughout college, I think Matt had 5 to 7 different girlfriends, and each of those relationships ended because he would cheat. Back in January, he started dating his current girlfriend, Jen, 21, and has been with her far longer than any of the previous relationships. From my interactions with Jen, I know she's a wonderful person. She's very polite, beautiful, and clearly devoted to Matt. For the past few weeks, Matt has also developed a close relationship with his anatomy lab partner, Cindy, 21. It's become pretty clear to me and my other housemates, Kyle, 21, Robert, 22, and Omar, 20 males, that there is some romantic relationship between them. We've even all met Cindy as she came by our house a few times. Long story short, Matt has told me and the other guys that things between him and Cindy are moving fairly quickly and that Jen is completely in the dark about this. He told us that, for the foreseeable future, he'll be spending a few nights hanging out at Cindy's place. Here's the issue. Jen and her roommates don't live that far from us, about a 7 minutes walk, so there's a good chance she'll come by looking for him, according to Matt. Therefore, he wants us all to make excuses for his absences and potentially reassure Jen that he isn't up to anything bad. Kyle and Robert are fully on board with this, as they consider it the bro code. Omar is fully against this, and while he has not said he'd tell Jen, he has refused to lie for Matt and has been urging him to end things with Cindy. I would say I'm more neutral. I don't think what Matt's doing is appropriate, but I don't think it's my place to tell Matt how to manage his relationships. I told him that while I wouldn't seek Jen out and tell her what's going on, I wouldn't lie to her either about where he is and instead say I don't know. We all argued about this for a while, and the general gist of things is that Kyle, Robert, and Matt all think I'm being a bit of a jerk for not being more cooperative. Aside from this, I don't think there is really much I can do. Moving to somewhere else is both economically and logistically unfeasible, so I think trying to avoid stirring the pot is my best bet. AITA. From the comments, are Jen and him in a committed relationship? If so, your friend is a dirtbag. Jen doesn't deserve that. I wouldn't lie for him. Your friend should break it off with her. You all are young, but your friend is not a good person. His history is showing it. In 10 years, you will probably be embarrassed to have been friends with him. OP, to be completely honest, I don't think Matt is capable of a committed relationship. That being said, I think he has been faithful to Jen for the past 11 months. He certainly is not faithful now. Jen is fully committed, however, and is unaware of what Matt is doing, though I'm pretty sure she knows he has a history. Update. I'll start this update by saying Jen found out last night. Like Matt predicted, she came over to our house Tuesday evening. I saw her pretty quickly since I was also coming back from buying some food. She asked me if I knew where Matt was, and I said I didn't know because I genuinely didn't know at the time. She mentioned how he wasn't responding to her texts, and that she was worried about him, and I felt pretty bad hearing that. Kyle, who were inside, came out at this point and said that Matt was in his anatomy lab and then reassured her that he'd contact her once he was finished. She didn't seem entirely satisfied with that answer but thanked us anyway and left. Once she was gone, Kyle told me that Matt was actually on a date with Cindy. Since Matt sometimes brings Cindy over, he'll text the house group chat before they come over to ensure that Jen isn't around. He did this on Tuesday night, and Kyle did alert him that Jen had stopped by looking for him, so he stayed over with Cindy on Tuesday night. Wednesday evening, only Omar and I are home. Kyle was with his own girlfriend, and Robert had an exam. Around 7 p.m., we got a text on the group chat from Matt saying he plans on bringing Cindy over around 8:30, and he asked if Jen came by. I told him that I hadn't seen her, and things went on as usual. I'll add that Omar has refused to respond to these specific text messages from Matt, so there was an expectation on me to clarify if Jen was here or not. A little after 8 p.m., Jen comes by with one of her friends, Carly, 21. They asked us where Matt was since Jen hadn't been seeing him a lot lately. Before I could even say anything, Omar told them to come back after 8:30 and Matt should be home. They left, and I did argue with Omar about his decision to tell them to come back since it was inevitably going to cause drama, but he didn't care. I did text Matt and told him about Jen potentially returning, but since he was driving, he didn't read the message. At this stage, I gave up trying to contact Matt and went up to my room. A little after 8:30, Matt walked in with Cindy, and not that long afterward, Jen and Carly returned. Omar let them in. Long story short, there was a lot of Jen yelling and Matt lying and apologizing. I didn't bother coming down since I could hear it all from my room. After about 10 minutes of this, Jen and Carly left. Matt sent Cindy home after this and was pretty mad at what happened. I reminded him that I sent text messages, which he now saw, and Omar played dumb, acting like he didn't see Matt's message about him asking if Jen was home, but confirmed to him that he told Jen to come back after the first time she came because he didn't think Matt was dumb enough to go out with Cindy 2 nights back to back. Robert and Kyle came home after this point and I filled them in with what happened. There was definitely some tension in the house this morning as Matt thinks this all could have been avoided had Omar been more helpful. He also partially blames Cindy for wanting to come over so often. Overall, Matt doesn't really seem to care that Jen found out and broke things off with him. He said that he'll try apologizing one more time as he does prefer Jen to Cindy, and if she doesn't accept, he'll leave things as they are. As for Cindy, Matt has already told Kyle, Robert, and me this morning that he plans on ending things with her after the December exam season. He says that he wants to be single again by New Year's so he can have a fresh start. Kyle and Robert think this is pretty hilarious considering how much trouble he got into to be with her. Things have ended more smoothly than I thought, and I have made it abundantly to Matt to keep me out of his relationship woes. I have also asked Carly how Jen was holding up this morning as we share a class together. As expected, Jen was very upset about the entire ordeal, and she and her friends consider everyone at our house aside from Omar to be complicit and awful. From the comments, "Oh, for God's sake, tell Cindy she's gonna be dumped. I hope Matt gets what he deserves, like an STD. Or someone he's crazy about cheating on him. OP, I really don't have any sympathy for her or feel any obligation to tell her. Anyway, the relationship will probably be over in about 3 weeks. AITA for breaking up with my girlfriend when she compared my sister to her dog. I'm 18 male. I have a sister who is 15. She has cerebral palsy. She can't walk, can't properly speak, and her brain function is lower. She plays with toys that make noise, and whenever she crawls anywhere in the house, she takes her toys with her. My girlfriend had come over so we could prepare for a test together. She had never met my sister before, although I have told her about my family before. I told her that I usually help my sister eat and carry her up and down the stairs, etc. She said that it reminds her of her dog, for whom she does the same. This really pissed me off, and I told her not to compare my sister to her pet. She started saying how her pet was a part of her family. I got really loud and told her we're done. She started crying. My mom heard us shouting and drove her back home. Afterwards, my parents told me that I shouldn't have shouted, but I don't think I did anything wrong with breaking up. I probably shouldn't have shouted, but frankly I don't regret it much, as she deserved that. From the comments, depending on how old her dog is, she's relating how she takes care of her dog. She at no point said that your sister was her dog and vice versa. She was simply stating something relating to the situation so you understood that she understood. I've been through this before, instead of getting all heated about it. You should have asked her to elaborate on it, instead of assuming it was targeted towards your sister. She's not going through what you have to, but at the end of the day, you'll still have your sister while she'll eventually lose her dog that she's taking care of. To a lot of people, pets are family. I'm one of those people. So when she's mentioning her dog in conversations including family, she's meaning it with her whole heart. I would think about it a little more and decide to work through what happened or let the relationship go. OP, the thing that pissed me off was her saying that she could relate because her dog was like her family. At that point it was pretty clear she was not thinking of my sister as a human but was comparing her to her dog. I don't care what anyone thinks of their pets. Comparing a person to an animal isn't cool. Edit. This post is getting too many comments. I'm just going to stop seeing. I only wrote this post because I had been angry about it the entire day previously. I know I shouldn't have shouted, but that's the only thing I regret having doing. I would have broken up with her anyway after what she said. I've heard the comparison of my sister with a dog so many times, and people saying that don't realize just how offensive it is that it made me heat up too much. Also, Reddit is weird. To those saying I shouldn't have shouted, I agree. But to everyone saying that she was just trying to relate or how dog is comparable to a human should know that there are times where they should keep their opinions to themselves and realize how insulting such a comparison can sound.